This is gonna be a rocket.
We're going to be using a form. We're going to be forming, I suppose you could call it a former. Okay? So, using a former, we're going to do some forming to create a form. Confusing, huh? It is. This is rocket science. So, you need to gather around over here in a half circle. We're going to do some editing of this, right? Video editing. Jay?
You guys, I'm short.
We're all going to
So, 2 sticks, different sizes. One says motor mount or engine mount, okay? That goes inside the other tube. We're going to make 2 tubes. So we're going to form a cylinder around these forms. These are formers, okay? Got it?
Yeah.
Want that again or are you okay? So, to camera.
Yeah.
2 pieces of wood, one smaller than the other, diameter-wise, right? Engine mount. This will make like 3 engine mounts. So you can make 2 friends in the class. You can make their engine mounts for them. Okay, they'll be very happy with you. This one is the airframe. We'll use this one first. You can see somebody got some glue on here and they've glued the paper to the stick. Not very smart. Standard piece of paper, what's that, 11 inches by what? Great, doesn't say. What is it? 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Okay. First things first. What do you call this? Hot dogs and hamburgers in North America? In England, we call this landscape portrait, right?
So very
What do you
proper.
call it?
Hot dogs. and
Hot dog.
dogs.
I thought so. Yeah.
I call it landscape.
You call it landscape. Well, you would, right?
I thought that
Great minds think alike. So crease the center, long ways, landscape, even pressure. You should be able to get all of this. Watch the corner doesn't fly off. Okay, in 2 halves. Make another friend. Okay, you only need half a piece of paper. We're going to roll this piece of paper. You hear that? Did you hear that? Did the microphone pick that up? You hear that? That where the piece of paper kind of locked itself in. If you do this, you notice that it's not very tight on there and it's loose, right? I exaggerate. What we want, it's got to be reasonably tight, right? So use your fingertips, spread them out, thumbs at the back here. I'm rolling this away from me. Listen carefully. Yeah, that's kind of slide, that skid, it's slid underneath, right? You want to hear that because that's kind of locking everything in now. And we've got this little piece here where we're going to put some glue on. Wood glue, standard wood glue. You don't need a lot, right? So aim in the middle. You don't want to get wood glue at the ends because it gets around the back of the, underneath the paper and it will stick the paper to the piece of wood and you won't be getting it off. You have to pick it all off by hand, right? It's not going to be good. So probably only need about that much. Get your finger and just spread that out a little down here. Oops, not enough. A little bit more. Okay. Right, we're good now. Now, with pressure downwards, make sure this is tight. The piece of paper is the forming. We're forming this shape from a 2-dimensional piece of material to a 3-dimensional piece. We're going to roll this over and we're going to use our fingertips on top of the former here and we're going to roll this away from ourselves. And as we roll it away from ourselves, we might get some glue on our fingers. Be careful where you put that. You don't want to put that on the table and then everything sticks to the table, right? Roll it away from you. I'm using the fingertips and the palms of my hands. And I'm hoping, it's the first one I've done this season, okay? I'm hoping that this is going to be nice and tight and it still moves. It's stuck momentarily there. I thought it was going to be stuck to the former. And maybe that's because of the piece of paper on there. Okay, so it should slide. It shouldn't be sticky. You should feel the glue sticking on there, right? Perfect. Practice makes perfect, right? You can believe how many of these I've made over the years. Next job. brown tape. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to cut the mustard. What we're going to do on the back of the brown tape, it's on the plan, let's say 5mm. Jane, what does that say? 65? 65. Step number 8 on the brown tape. No, above that. Where the scissors are. Sorry? 55, right, so from the end, 55, so 55.5 centimetres. Remember, we don't use centimetres, it's a standard international unit, right? We're using millimetres. So I'm making a mark on 55. I'm going to slide this across somewhere here. Hopefully that's squared off at the end there. Robert, I'm going to ask you with a pair of scissors to cut that for me. Used to have size on. Now on my desk there's a line set at 22 inches here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move everything over there, and I'm going to cut that. How many do we need? So we need one 22 inches long, and we need two 10 inches long. Okay. So from the point, we're going to measure back here 22 inches, and we're going to make a cut. Now I know on my bench I've got that marked on the table, so I don't have to keep measuring it with a tape measure, right? And we'll put one on one of these tables, but the cleaner likes to clean it off. So we'll cut that at 22, and we'll make two at 10. We've got my wet paper towel here, and we'll wet this paper, and we'll stick this together. Okay, so you can pause that for a moment while we do this. Okay. Piece of paper. Okay, for the air frame. This is the central part of the roll. Okay. Paper towel should not be too dry, should not be soaking wet. It should leave a little bit of water on the table, but don't flood the place. When you squeeze this, water should drip out, but it should be held there. So, not too much, not too little, otherwise it's not going to work. Activate the glue, okay, all of it. Pop this down on a dry piece of the table. Look for the seam, put the seam down. Try to center it. Okay, pop it down. You're going to roll it one way on the table and roll it the other way. What you should have is not a soaking wet piece of paper, but it should be stuck to the other piece of paper. The glue is activated with the water. Okay. Now you've got water all over the table. Be careful about it. You don't want to get this next bit soaking wet. You just want to activate the glue. Don't keep going up and down. If you keep going up and down, you'll rub all of the glue off and it won't stick. So, look for the seam. Put the seam down. Level it up as best you can. Pop it down, firm pressure. Roll it one way, roll it the other way. Don't let it get too wet, because this paper will start to weaken when it bubbles. You get creases in your airframe. You don't want a crease in the airframe. We don't want any Challenger 2 disasters, right? Now this bit's tricky. So, do this end first. Do this one. Now, basically you want to start this off square at the top. So, get it up to the top where the paper is. Roll it round. It's got to be